Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I am still slightly congested. I just want to get a new nose at this point. It's November. Hopefully, everybody's November is going well. So far, so good. When you see this, it'll be the third day of November. So, we're just getting started. So, like I said earlier in the week, I am reviewing the Migos solo records. Two of them just put out solo records this year. Of course, Takeoff, unfortunately, if you don't know, he passed away last year due to gun violence. So he only has one solo record. So I'm going to review that one. So just in case you have absolutely no idea who the Migos are, I'm going to give you a little bit of their biography. I might skim a little of this. It is from Wikipedia, so if you want to know more in depth, there you go. But the Migos is an American hip-hop group originating from Lawrenceville, Georgia. They formed in 2008. The group was originally composed of rappers Quavo, his nephew Takeoff, and Offset. Which Offset and Quavo are cousins. I guess, I don't know if it's like a black thing. We have like play cousins, but there are cousins, Quavo is from Athens, Georgia, and Offset and Takeoff were born and raised in, it says nearby Lawrenceville. I thought they were from Atlanta. I mean, I don't know if that's part of Atlanta. Don't boo me if that's not right, okay? As a group, they were managed by Coach K, the former manager of American rappers Gucci Mane and Jeezy, and frequently collaborated with producers such as DJ Durrell, Murder Beats, Zaytoven, and Buddha Bless. Recognized for their contribution to trap music in the 2010s, Billboard stating that the group was influenced pop culture and the entire English language by bringing their North Atlanta roots to the mainstream. They released their commercial debut single Versace in 2013, taken from their mixtape YRN, which stands for Rich Young Niggas, which I also think it also stands for Rich Young Nation, because they have like a producer who is white who has this tattooed on him. So it can't be niggas for him. But on Wikipedia it is saying it is niggas. But I also think it also could stand for nation. But I'm still questioning that tattoo. Okay. They released several more singles, including Fight Night 2014, Look at My Dab 2015, their 4 Billboard Hot 100 top 10 entries, Bad and Bougie, featuring Lil Uzi Vert in 2016, reaching the top. Motorsport with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. That peaked at number 6. Stir Fry peaked at number 8. Walk It Like I Talk It, featuring Drake in 2008, peaked at number 10. So they had a lot of hits, y'all. Migos released their debut album, Young Rich Nation, July 2015. Okay, so they did change the name. Through Quality Control Music and Surrender Entertainment, in 2016, the group portrayed fictionalized versions of themselves in the first season of Donald Glover's comedy series Atlanta. Their second album, Culture, was released in January 2017. Also through both record labels, and debuted atop the Billboard 200 chart, U.S. Billboard 200 chart. The group signed a deal with Motown and Capitol Records in February 2017 and put out the album The Culture 2 in January 2018, giving the group their second number one album in the United States. And in 2021, the trio released their fourth album, The Culture 3, the final installment in their cultural trilogy. Yes, and like I said, Takeoff unfortunately passed away on November 1st, 2022 in Houston, Texas, due to gun violence. So unfortunately, which Quavo does in his one of his songs say that, basically that's the end of the Migos, because they're no more. They're not all here, So yeah, that's a little bit about them. I think they disbanded because Offset and Quavo had some issues about loyalty, I guess being loyal to the brand, to the, you know, to the record label Quality Control. It was black owned. I don't think it is anymore. I think Scooter Braun, who I think he either discovered or managed Justin Bieber, he's a white man, owns it now. And I guess also Offset had issues with the label. Like I guess he didn't feel represented. He didn't feel like they were up to par with his standards, I guess. So that's my like knowledge on it without really looking it up to confirm. But I think that was some of the issues. Which I don't know. I feel like even major, minor, I feel like all these record labels have issues. Like I've been watching a video about like rapper owned record labels and why you probably shouldn't sign to them. It's just a mess. I feel like everything's just a mess. And like even if you're on a major record label, like you still have to compete with other artists to, be promoted. And I feel like all kind of record labels it's just a lot. So yeah, so now let's get into, and their name. So their name comes from like, there are three of them, so like the three amigos, but they just called it themselves Migos, if you were like curious about it. I'm not sure about their stage names, but I don't know. I guess I'll have to look into that a little more. Quavo, his name is like Quavarius or something, so that's just short for that. And I think Takeoff likes rockets, so when you take off in a rocket. I'm not really sure about Offset. You're just off in your set. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't looked into that. I should have. I forgot. But we're going to start the review. So I'm going to give you the vibes, my favorite songs, my least favorite songs, if I have any, and my overall opinion. So the album for Takeoff, the only solo album he had, was The Last Rocket. It was released November 2nd, 2018. It is a hip-hop trap album. I streamed it on Apple Music. I'm sure it's on pretty much everything. Now, I will say SoundCloud is kind of weird about that. So it might be on SoundCloud Go, which you do have to pay for. But I did not look into all of the streaming platforms. But I'm just going to assume it's going to be the major ones: Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play. I can't remember if you have to buy or you can stream. But yeah, I'm assuming it's on all the major stuff. So the vibes I got from it was like bragging, stunting, trend setting, because he does talk a lot about the Migos and like their foundations and stuff, and like what they changed about the culture of hip hop. So I'm going to talk about my favorite songs. So my first favorite song was Vacation. I really like the beat on this song. It stands out from the previous songs. But it's pretty much the same subject matters. But I love the line, gotta make sure fam straight, I'm the backbone. Because it kind of shows that he was the glue for the Migos and like kept them together. And I feel like that's still true because, no. I mean, I feel like Offset and Quavo have made up. Like they did perform together at the BET Awards. I want to say it was the BET Awards. They did perform Migos songs at the BET Awards. So I mean, and they have been pictured together other places, but I don't know if there's still any tension, but it seems like they're maybe at least cordial, I guess. But yeah. And then the second favorite song is Casper. It's very catchy and clever song. Very easy to vibe to. It makes me really want to Wraith, LOL. It's very smooth and melodic. I'm just gonna tell y'all, all of them love expensive stuff, so it's gonna be a lot of the same themes. And my last favorite song is Infatuation featuring Daytona Fox. It's a very different vibe. I never expected to have like a love song on this album, but it is very interesting. And of course, he's still flashing for his lady. Always gotta be balling no matter what. LOL. For this one, I didn't have any least favorite songs. So So yeah, so my overall opinion, I love the space themes, but I wish it was like stronger throughout the songs because it, like, you know, your name's Takeoff. It's called The Last Rocket. I feel like that could have been cool, like lots of space themes. You know what I mean? I do want to. Did he have a song called Galaxy on here, or was that somebody else's album? It might have been on this one. And the song kind of melted into one another, but some were stand out, and I think it was also like the beats too. Subject matter was pretty much the same throughout the whole album, which is going to be a theme for all three of the albums. I wish it was more switched up, but he did seem to be proud to be Amigos, part of the Migos. He brings up the group several times and says how influential they are and recognizable. He seemed to be the glue that was keeping them together. So I gave the album a 6 out of 10. His flow, ad-libs, and different metaphors and clever lyrics were great, but subject matters were the same, and the beats were very similar too. So they kind of just like melted into one another. Like, you know, like of course you could tell it's a different song, but it's like they all kind of sounded similar, like sound-wise. All right. So now we're gonna go to the album Rocket Power by Quavo. It was released August of this year on August 18th. So these next two albums are from this year. It's hip hop trap again. I listened to it on Apple Music once again, and the vibes I got were loss, appreciation, and motivation. My favorite songs, actually I have a lot of favorite songs, were Fueled Up. I felt like it was a great way to start the album. Quavo going back to how he used to be and going hard for Takeoff. I love that he used Takeoff's verse at the end of the song, and he addresses his issues with Offset and how he's feeling. Like I feel like this was in like his trailer for the album, where he talks about his cousin kind of like distancing himself, and it's like, hey, what's you a cousin? What's with black people? We're cousins. We cousins forever. Like, what is going on? Which yeah, Quavo did like kind of come out and be like, we're not even related, and it's like, y'all, you don't break the cousin bond. You know what I mean? It's like a unwritten black rule. You know what I mean? Okay, so the next song that I liked was Who With Me. I love the triumphant sound of the beat and how Quavo talks about everyone around him being with him when he needs them. He's surrounded by people that support him, and I think that was definitely needed in his time of grief, obviously. And he was there to witness, unfortunately, Takeoff's passing, which, I'm going to talk about this. I am so glad I turned off, for Twitter, the like automatic video thing, because why do people have to videotape every single thing? And apparently he was like crying in the video, like obviously very distraught. I don't want to see that. So yeah, that was messed up. So you don't need to record everything. I just want people to know that you don't have to. 11:11. I think this is a great song to honor Takeoff and even honor his legacy with Offset and the Migos. I like that Quavo was able to be vulnerable, express his grief, and be able to admit that he struggles with it. It's refreshing to see a rapper not just be tough through everything and have to think he has to put on the front to be respected, and I really like that. I know a lot of rappers have like songs about or have verses about like them missing their homies and stuff, but I feel like he was really vulnerable in this, and it was really refreshing to see. Not done yet. I was surprised to hear a motivational song on a Quavo album, but here it is. I love this song. He's still on a mission to do more with his career and only wants better for himself. And you could definitely like motivate younger rappers coming up to like not limit themselves and always push themselves. That's the vibes I got from the song. And then my last favorite song was Rocket Power. The second verse, he says his heart got ripped out of his chest. And the outro of the song had me tearing up. My autocorrect did not put this right. Outro of the song had me tearing up. Your boy was trying not to cry, lol. But it was a very emotional song, and I love that he compared Migos to the Three Stooges. That they're, the Three Stooges all together. They were always together. In the end, he also encouraged other people going through grief, and I thought that was so sweet. I did have some least favorite songs on this album, actually. Um, Turn Your Click Up featuring Future. I actually loved this song until Future came on. Uh, Shaking my head, and I forgot he dissed Russell on it, and I'm like, don't you got 47 kids? Like, nigga, you got something else to worry about. LOL. Um, Once again, autocorrect is just not my friend. But otherwise, I did love this song. But I need to find a version without Future because Quavo actually sounded really good. He was really hyped on the song, and then Future came in talking about fuck Russell. Nigga, you got 77 kids. What is going on? You done moved on. I thought he moved on. I don't know. I don't know too much about, unless I hear it from the music. I don't really know too much about like Future's personal life. You know what I mean? Or unless Sierra like does an interview or something. But it's like, nigga, you got other things to worry about. You still worried about your ex. She done married this man for 45 years already. They got 12 kids themselves. Like, what is going on? Oh, and then the last least favorite song was Stain featuring Huncho. I think that's how you pronounce it. And Baby Drill. I don't like there's a song about shooting and killing people on an album dedicated to someone who died from gun violence. It's like, sir, you watched your nephew pass away just last year. This song could have been cut from the album because it just throws the album off as well. It's like, why are you promoting this? I didn't like it. Alright. Here's my overall opinion though. I really enjoyed this album. I will say, I do think Quavo's my favorite Migo. I kind of didn't want to say that in my short video. LOL. But I do enjoy his music, I think, the most out of the three. Even though we'll get to Offset. I will say he has done some things in his personal life I don't agree with, but we're going to focus on the music part. A lot of songs I really liked, and the beats were actually switched up a lot, but still seem similar with, but they just seem similar without melting together. I think certain subject matters were the same in some songs. It was switched up on how things were said in different songs though, but yeah, pretty much my main complaint. All the same subject matter sometimes. I think this album could have been shorter, down to maybe 10 to 12 really great songs. I think he had 18. Which is like, our attention spans are not good anymore because of like Vine and TikTok. Like, what are you doing, sir? Which some albums I'm like, dang, this is only 30 minutes. Which Takeoff's album I think was only at 38 minutes. But I feel like we need to have like a balance. Like, should it be 20 minutes for an album? Probably not. Because you know they make them shorter so you can keep playing on to get the streams. But should it be like over 12 songs? I don't think so. I feel like we need to get a balance. Maybe a 45 minute or 40 minute. Let's do 45 minute. 45 minute. I feel like that's good. That's a good balance. I did think it dragged towards the end. I would give this album an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed listening to it, and I think for the most part, it's a solid album. So the last album I'm going to get off is Set It Off by Offset. It was released this year. Actually, this month. Not this month. I keep forgetting it's November. Last month, October 13th. Hip hop trap again. Listen to it. I'm about to say watched it. Listen to it on Apple Music again. Vibes that get flashy, rich, superior. So I actually did like more songs than I listed, but I was like, oh, I don't want to list too many. But then I forgot. I listed like 5 for Quavo. So there are more that I actually liked than I'm going to talk about. So my favorite songs are Say My Grace, featuring Travis Scott. The beat is really energetic, and Offset is going off on this track. It has very clever wordplay, and Travis Scott was a good feature on the song. I like Travis Scott. I have not listened to like a full project by him. Maybe that'll be the next thing I do in the future at some point. I know he's had a lot of controversies in the past couple of years, so it's like, I don't know. Are people still into him? I guess they are. He's on the album, so. Next one is Worth It, featuring Don Toliver. It's very smooth, and they both sound great on the beat. I really like Don Toliver. I also never listened to like a whole album by him, so that could also be an idea in the future. It's very much a chill song that you could subtly jam to, and I love that. And it sounds like you would listen to it like maybe like you're by the pool. You just you calm pool there. You know what I mean? You're just chilling and the song's on. Don't Lie is the next song. It's very self-reflective, and I love the beat to the song. There's like a lot of triumphant sounding beats, and I like that. I hope that makes sense to how I described him. LOL. It seems like he's in his Rocky music moment. Like, how Rocky's like, da-na-na, da-na-na. That's kind of like how a lot of the beats sound. Like a music moment, like he feels like he's at his best right now. That's the impression I got. Night Vision. I like that he talks about missing Takeoff and Quavo. And I also love this beat so much, even though mostly it is, again, the same subject matter as all the songs, pretty much. And there were like 3 other songs at the end of the album that I actually liked too. But I was like, I don't want to put too many. But yeah, I don't have a least favorite song because I'm going to talk about this. They kind of all sounded very similar. I will say this is my overall opinion. I would say this album production / beat wise was really great. And say basically him talking about the same thing on almost every track. I do think Offset, at least for this album, is right in between for me. He's above Takeoff by a little, but I didn't enjoy his album as much as Quavo, so he's like in the middle there. I think just like Quavo, he could have cut some tracks. I think some of the middle songs could have been cut because I think the last 3 songs were actually really good. But I was so annoyed from hearing the same stuff. I was like, when is it over? LOL. So I guess I'm a 7 out of 10. So we got 6 for Takeoff, 7 for Offset. Well, I guess we'd do it the reverse way. 6 for Takeoff, Offset at 7, and Quavo at 8. Yeah, so just above Takeoff, like I said, just above Takeoff's, but still below Quavo's. I think both Quavo and Offset have some great tracks and have talent to keep improving over time. So, yeah, I think they will improve over time. I'm gonna go on a little rant because I feel like female rappers are always they're always talking about the same stuff all the time. And yeah, they do, but I'm listening to Offset, he mentioned Margiela so much. It was crazy. I wish I had counted. I was like, they should sponsor this nigga. LOL. Because he talked about it so much. I wish I had counted because it was a lot. And male rappers do the same thing. Like, they always talk about female rappers rap about, sex, getting money from niggas, this and that. So do male rappers, okay? So I hate that female rappers are the only ones that like are catching heat for this. And all the Migos, all of these albums, they talked about how rich they are. They love to drink lean, do other various drugs. So we're gonna keep those together. They are blinged out. They could take your girl, like everything, especially Offset. Like, sir, talk about anything else. LOL. And with Offset, it was like in back to back to back to back. I was like, sir. And of course, there's definitely a market for all these subject matters. So I think all rappers in general need to like vary what they talk about because all of them generally talk about the same things all the time. So I always get annoyed when people talk about this with female rappers because every single one of these well, I'm not sure about Takeoff, but I'm sure it probably was. And there was also a song about shooting jobs on at least Offset and Quavo's albums. Okay. So there was that too. I think also another thing is Offset. I don't know if I think I might have skipped this note. He needed to cut some of the songs too on his album because he had like 21 songs, and I'm like all of them, almost all of them are all about the same subject matter. So yeah, he could have cut his too. And I said, and when you're listening to 21 of the same or similar song in a row, it gets tiresome. And I know there's all kind of rappers that talk about a variety of stuff, and technically that is like what they talk about is what trap rap is about. But both male and female rappers can definitely like typecast themselves in their own music. And I was thinking about this the other day, and like I've been watching videos about how rappers fake their life. Like And I know there's probably like nerd rappers who talk about nerd stuff. There's probably rappers who, you know, are just trying to make it day to day and they're rapping about that. But, mainstream, it's just flashy. The drugs, the women, I got a lot of bling. Like, I wish it was a mainstream that, like, just varied up with both male and female rappers. Just varied it up. Like, have you ever, has your credit score ever dropped and you got mad? Rap about that. Have you ever, like, I don't know, you ever get home and your significant other ate your pancakes and you was ready for the pancakes? I don't know. Like, I just wish we had mainstream that varied up. But also, there has to be there's a market for this. So people are buying these albums. People are going to, well, they're not buying, streaming, because we don't buy albums no more. Streaming the albums, saving them on the playlist and all that stuff. And, and following these people and going to the concerts and buying the merch. So it's definitely a market for all of these things. So it's kind of not really on the rappers 100%, because if they have fans that like this stuff, they're going to keep doing the same stuff. Just like Future keep talking about the same stuff and he's 110. You know what I mean? Still talking about drugs and shooting and stuff. And I watched a video today talking about how, a lot of these rappers make it and they're not really doing any of the stuff they used to do, but they're still talking about it. But of course, there's a market for it. And then on the other end, some of these rappers make it and they still doing the stuff, like Young Thug. He's on trial right now. So I mean, it could vary. Sometimes they say they're doing it and they're not, which I feel like they should not be doing it, because I mean, you see Young Thug. And there's also other rappers I've seen that have also gone to jail recently because they're still doing the stuff that they really shouldn't be doing. That if you make it, stop doing the illegal stuff. You're making legal money now. But and it's also about the image as well. So it's kind of like all over the place as far as it goes. And another thing is, like for Tekashi 6ix9ine, for example, we know he not doing. He's still talking about the same stuff he was doing before he went to prison and snitched. So it's always a market. You know what I mean? Even if people talk about Gunna being a snitch and Tekashi 6ix9ine being a snitch, people still using the songs on TikTok. People streaming the albums. People talking about the albums. So, I mean, it's a hard thing. Like, you want people to talk about other stuff, but then they're making money talking about the same stuff. So it's like a double-edged sword. All right, so that's the end of my rant. I don't want to make this video too long. Have you guys heard these albums from the Migos? Who is your favorite Migos? I already asked that. But has it changed after you listen to these albums? If you listen to Takeoff's album, have you listened to Quavo and Offset's new albums? Let me know what you think if you want in the comments. Like, subscribe, share the video if you like. That'd be cool. And I will see you all next week.